What's good, Amana Who's family? This is your boy Bryan, and we are back for the, second time with our weekly roundup of the Chicago Bulls. Like I said, the season is off to a great start. Like I said, I've been enjoying it, been watching a lot of basketball this week, and most importantly, I've been watching the Chicago Bulls very closely, seeing how they're starting this season off. So we're gonna jump right into this thing. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button if you like what you see, and now we're gonna jump into this thing. So the Chicago Bulls, like I said, we had our weekly roundup last week. A lot of people were very excited about what this team had to offer, and so far, so good. Like I said, they started on season 3-0, albeit with a very light schedule. Like I said, they took down Detroit, played Detroit Pistons twice this week, beat them one time, 94-88, beat the Pelicans without Zion Williamson, 97-82, and then beat Detroit again, 97-82 as well. So with that being said, I have those scores wrong. Y'all gotta hold on with me. They beat the Pelicans 128-112. Missed typo, it's all good though, we still here. But with that being said, this team started off very solid. I like what I've seen so far from this team. They've been really patient on offense. They definitely showed that they have a lot of playmakers on the court. Lonzo, Caruso, Zach has shown that he's willing to give up the ball. DeMar's shown he's willing to give up the ball. They're really trying to work together, but it hasn't really clicked yet, shockingly enough. Like I said, you got a lot of guys between DeMar and Zach who are both very ISO heavy guys. They're really trying to figure out how they fit on the court. And the real guy who's kind of fitting out right now is Nikola Vucevic. Like I said, the all-star big man they picked up last year. He's really struggling with his shot. I don't know if he's struggling because he's not getting the normal amount of attempts, or it's just he's trying to struggle where he would be on the court. They're doing a lot of five-out things with him, a lot of dribble handoffs, a lot of pick-and-roll actions that have him coming away from the basket because they're trying to open up those driving lanes for Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan. So maybe it's just the idea of him getting farther and farther away from the basket, but I do know he is really struggling with his shot. Lonzo Ball has come out, and he really looks like he's happy to be in a place that's just going to allow him to hoop. Like I said, people have been talking about, well, he's being allowed to be a point guard. I'll be honest, I haven't really seen that. It seems like he's just finally somewhere that's allowing him to just be a ball player, to let him make winning plays. Like I said, he's not really being a ball-dominant point guard like a lot of people thought he would be. Like I said, he's only averaging about 5 assists a game right now. But like I said, he's just being allowed to get out in transition, make plays. Nobody's mad at him if he's trying to run the offense or if he's standing in the corner too long. The ball is moving around very, very well for this team. He's just being allowed to put in this position to make winning plays. Like I said, people always harp on me because I love Draymond Green so much, but I think Lonzo Ball really is he could be like the super point guard version of Draymond Green, a guy who literally is just always in the right spot, always makes the right play, always makes the extra pass. He just always does the little things that make it necessary to win. So he's had a great start to the season. Zach LaVine has come out firing. He's averaging about 26 a game, shooting pretty much 50, 40, 90. He's just pretty much hitting everything he puts up. Big things right now, like I said, offense is off kind of to a rocky start. They are 18th in offensive rating, but they are 4th in defensive rating, which is not super shocking with the level of talent that they've played against between Detroit, essentially without Cade Cunningham, and the Pelicans without Zion. They haven't really been put into situations where they're guarding guys who can make tough shots consistently or make tough plays consistently. But so far, they've done what they've needed to do. They've taken care of business. Like I said, they had a really good defensive stretch against against the Pistons in their first game. They pretty much just locked them down for, I believe, a good stretch in the second quarter. And they really had them working on every shot. Lonzo Ball had Killian Hayes essentially in a box. I would love to see how that looks against, like I said, better competition. Like I said, I can't wait to see them match up with teams like Philly and teams like Brooklyn and so on and so forth to see how this defense holds up over time. But so far, they've shown a willingness to defend, which is very important. They're pretty much switching everything 1 through 4. Vucevic is he's playing a lot of drop coverage, which is dangerous, especially once you start playing against really elite point guards. But so far, it's held up. So I'm really, like I said, I like where their defense is right now. I like what they're doing. I just got to see it against better competition to know if it's legit or not. I will say the shooting aspect is really interesting. They are last in 3-point attempts per game. Not that shocking considering their personnel. They're 4th or they're 3rd in percentage right now, which is, I guess that's where the balance is coming from. But does that number hold up over the entire year is the question. I don't think they're going to get a lot of 3-point attempts up. But that percentage, if it starts to fall to even 10th or 12th, and you're not taking a lot to begin with, I just think that's going to be really interesting to see how that holds up over the course of the season. It's a great start, no doubt, but hoping that Vucevic shoots 40% for the season. Like I said, they got guys like Devonte Green shooting 40% right now. Patrick Williams and Caruso both shooting 60%. Like, 3-game sample size for sure. I'm interested to see how all these numbers balance out over time. Shout out to DeMar DeRozan, though. He's actually like taking threes when he's open. Like, they had a great possession, I believe, against the Pelicans, or actually the Pistons that third game. Like, it was a pick and roll. They doubled Zach. Zach hit Vucevic on the slip. Vucevic kicked it out, and it was literally like bing, bing, bing. Got to DeMar in the corner, and DeMar didn't hesitate. He just shot the corner three. Great to see. They need more of that. Like I said, I love that ball movement that they had. Devonte Green has really been like the surprise for me of this team so far. You kind of know what you're getting, or you kind of knew what you were going to get from DeMar and Zach, Caruso, Patrick Williams. Like, we kind of knew what they were. Like I said, this team is a very talented starting five. Their bench, though, is where I was very questionable. And Devonte Green so far has been like the guy who stands out to me on their bench so far. He comes in with a lot of energy. He's a vet. Like I said, somebody like I said, I honestly didn't know a lot about until I started watching the Bulls this year. He's from Virginia, shockingly enough. Like I said, but he's a 28-year-old vet, been in the league for a while, and you can see like he comes in, he immediately makes impact. Whether it's with his energy, his defense, getting deflections, like he just comes in, he's just full tilt, keeping that energy going the entire game. And that's something they desperately need off their bench because, quite frankly, their bench is not going to score a lot. I think they're 26th in bench points per game right now. I don't think that number is really going to change a lot. They don't have a lot of talented scorers off their bench. Even if Kobe White comes back, I don't think that's going to hold up. So if you're not going to have scorers off your bench, you got to have guys who are literally just going to come in and keep the intensity, play strong defense, not turn the ball over, whatever the case may be. They just come in and make sure that the tempo stays pretty much where it's at, where the intensity needs to be. So Devonte Green is somebody, like, if you're a Bulls fan, you're going to love him this season with the motor he has, especially putting him next to Alex Caruso. Those two really cause havoc on the defensive end. So just something to keep in mind, right? I guess my biggest question mark still with this team, like I said, I'm still always going to come back to the bench because I do think you still need solid bench production at some point throughout the season. Like I said, this team is not very deep. They don't have size off their bench essentially at all. Right now, the biggest person come off their bench is Elijah Johnson. A solid vet, but he's only 6'7". Tony Bradley's not even getting minutes. So they don't even have a big off their bench right now. So there comes a point in the season where Vucevic either gets hurt or he gets in foul trouble. Like, I'm interested to see, are they just going to go 5 guards essentially or 5 forwards and they're just going to rock out that way? Billy Donovan's lineups have been, I thought they were very questionable in the first Pistons game because he was doing like 4 out, 4 in. Like I said, I get it right now. I'm a big proponent of coaches just throwing darts at the board early in the season. But I'm very curious to see how he's going to balance these lineups out because Vucevic has to get going for this team. They can't survive the entire season if Vucevic is only giving them like 14 points a game. 13 points a game right now. They need at least 20 plus from him, Zach, and DeMar because once again, the bench production is not going to be there. Lonzo's going to float anywhere from 13 to 17 in my opinion, and Patrick Williams is going to always be the low end guys. He's going to be anywhere from like 8 to 12. So they got to get Vooch involved in this offense. I would love to see him get more early post-ups in the game. Like I said, I feel like establishing him early would really help things out for Zach and DeMar. Like I said, they're doing a great job of using him as a screener. He's doing a lot of dribble handoff actions, a lot of high post passes. Like I said, they're doubling Zach and DeMar on these screens and they're kicking it to him early. And he's making the right reads, but offensively, like, he's really got to get himself going. And I would just love to see him get more touches on the block in the mid-post area, really get himself scoring that way. And also, they've been excellent in transition, so I want to see them do it more. Right now, I think they're like 4th in like transition percentage, like in terms of how often they score in transition, but they're only in transition like 16% of the time. That's like middle of the pack in the NBA. Like, I need that number to go up more because I don't think their half-court offense, unless Vucevic really gets himself going, is gonna be elite for the entire season. While they are trying to pass the ball more and they are trying to play more like a team, you can still see those traits of DeMar and Zach really falling into iso ball. Like, Zach and DeMar are two guys who really, they just take and make tough shots. And it's great when they make them, but once again, if either one of them goes cold, like I said, we've seen this throughout both Pistons games essentially, where they start off slow and the game just stays close because the team can't manufacture easy buckets in the half court. So seeing them get out in transition to play more that way would give them more easy buckets. Like I said, it wouldn't force Zach and DeMar to rely on ISO buckets as much. Granted, the team is trying to play a little bit more as a team. But yeah, other than that, man, like I'm really curious to see how this team is going to continue to play. They've literally come out the gate firing. Like I said, they've taken care of business. That's the big thing. Like, you always want to take care of the teams you're supposed to. I will say their record this week gets a little bit tougher, right? They got Toronto tomorrow night. Toronto's always a well-coached team. They come out the gate a little slow, but you know they're always going to be ready and prepared. Then you got the Knicks, who have come out on fire. Both the Knicks and, I believe, Charlotte, Chicago, they're all tied at the top of the conference. They're undefeated right now. So that's going to be a really good matchup. The Knicks look really good right now. I guess I was low on them in my preseason rankings. And then last but not least, they got the Utah Jazz, #1 seed from last year in the Western Conference. So I'm interested to see how that matchup goes. That's going to be the first time I think they're going to run into a team that has really dynamic guards in their backcourt. So I'm interested to see how Lonzo and Zach defend Donovan and Mike Conley, especially with that Rudy Gobert pick and roll. Like I said, is Vucevic going to be able to handle that? Like I said, if Vucevic gets into any type of foul trouble, like what's going to be the counter move that Billy Donovan has in that rotation? But like I said, this team's off to a solid start, man. I think they're going to be very exciting. Zach and DeMar have already made some exciting plays. Like I said, Devonte Green's had a couple of exciting plays. Caruso caught an alley the other night. Like, this team is very exciting to watch. But I'm still not sold on it. I got to see them against better competition. But solid start to Chicago. Like I said, if y'all agree, disagree, have any other things y'all want to point out, please leave it in the comment section. Y'all know I'm always down to have a good conversation, a good debate, a good chat, all those different things. Remember, please hit that like and subscribe button to get more of this beautiful content. We love you. We out.